It's just imperial policy. Their function is to subdue, defeat, and destroy the heartlands of other societies here in the 21st century, a continuation of the 20th, and that still has something to do with the most rapid possible accumulation of capital, what the system of capitalism is all about. And George Kennan gave it all a good start in 1947 when he said very professionally, "Hey everybody, this is a good time for an American empire. Let's go for it." George was one of the leading pissant capitalist philosophers in the world of the developing think tanks, so everybody said, "Hey, yeah, let's go for it." So now we support Israel in their genocide for all the same reasons. Their murder of Palestinian society, all really told to do this by America. Their building of great walls, no longer the Great Wall of China. Now it is the Great Wall of Israel. America pays for it. We pay all our soldiers as they bulldoze Palestinian homes, stores, schools, hospitals, everything. We give them tanks, cannons, biological rocket shells, submachine guns, F-16 fighter planes at $46 million each. You and I pay for this for the top 1%. But see, that's where the capital is, that to keep the faith must be allowed to accumulate at the fastest possible rate. How many times do I have to tell you this? And we need that part of the world, and Israel is one of the main pieces of the Middle East jigsaw puzzle. So, the goal of capitalism is the most rapid possible accumulation of capital, and the more capital there is, the harder it is to accumulate more. The imperial policy is to control Palestinian society completely. The Great Wall, 700 kilometers long, some that seals off Palestinian settlements from water, from farmland, from hospitals. All this is the Palestinian version of the empire. American-made Israeli bulldozers tear down houses, stores, burn them to the ground with people in them. It doesn't matter. It's imperial policy. Then on top of the rapid accumulation, you have to carry out the effort in every theater of operations. You have to access to, and after a while, this gets to be mostly foreign countries, right? At the end of the Iraq War in 1991, American bulldozers buried miles of trenches filled with living Iraqi soldiers, some wearing wedding rings, some with copies of the Koran in their packs, some with pictures of their wives and children in their packs. Bury them, suffocate them, leave them buried so they can't say we destroyed them now that they aren't even visible under the bulldozer's rubble. It's all right because it's imperial policy. Only the empire, the minerals, the 30-cent an hour labor, the farmland, the markets is the reason for imperial policy. After a while, maybe 100 years or two, every top 1% has a lot of capital, and now it's hard to find investment places. So we all have to look everywhere, especially in the backward part of the world where they don't have much capital, but there are others wanting to do these same things, and then sometimes we go to war with one or some of the others, like ourselves, and maybe twice a century. It's a world war where everybody is in their army, and they're all trying to kill all the others before they kill us. And after all this, things are in such ruins, and there are so many dead bodies around, and everybody hates everybody else, and it will take another couple of Jesus Christ to get people to love each other again. And maybe not. Maybe the war will end everything, and the planet Earth will be a dead planet. A dead planet. And why? All because the most rapid possible accumulation of capital was seen as the best idea around, which it wasn't. And peace and love between people is the best thing to strive for, and not to try for peace and love between different quantities of capital. I know this is a tiresome thing to try to figure out, but believe me, you may think you have some options here, but let me tell you, you don't. And I mean you, and I mean don't, and I mean you don't. maybe, just maybe, you'll figure it out, and maybe you won't, which means you're hopeless. And that means I might as well stop writing this poem, at least for your sake, because it looks like you're really hopeless, especially when after all this, a few minutes ago, you asked me how the stock market ended today. Agent Orange destroying miles and miles of exotic jungles. What's left of the bodies of beautiful jungle birds, the slimy, decayed bodies of monkeys and mammals. Have you got any idea what the wild world thinks of us? Our incredible violence? The millions, billions of violent deaths we've caused. The poisons in the air. Finally, the worst lung cancer, the worst skin cancer, the worst brain cancer, breast cancers in the world for decades, long after the war's over. The one we lied about in Vietnam, lying everywhere, is imperial policy. It's necessary. You can't let Americans know. We can't allow any decent thinking, any Christian thinking, any lovingness. All these are like imperial cancers. All those kinds of thinking are communist thinking. Everybody in the CIA knows that. In Indonesia in 1965, several 100,000 bodies of Sukarno supporters, popular society and popular government supporters floating as bloated bodies down every river for months. It's all imperial policy. Death for the living from the rot in the bloated bodies. All imperial policy for the top 1%. None of the rest of us. None of the rest of us. We die in uniform for America. Our bodies rot beside small creeks and sandy bars. Imperial policy will work as soon as we get it everywhere. But the goddamn people raid us with suicide bombs. They plant landmines carried over mountains by young Vietnamese and Cambodian and Laotian girls who ate a bowl of rice 3 days ago. We created the hatred between the Watusi and the Tutu in the Congo, and they killed 750,000 of each other. Same thing in Angola and Madagascar and Mozambique on Pacific Islands. It's all imperial policy. How many times do I have to tell you this? We fired machine guns through student houses in Grenada medical school where they had to hide in their bathtubs to not become masses of blood, guts, and splintered bones. It's all, like I was telling you. In Haiti now, we kidnapped an honest, honorable president, Aristide, at 5 in the morning, with the U.S. ambassador bringing 10 Marines with handcuffs to get Aristide out once and for all, god damn it. And we turn loose all the thugs and beasts who shoot supporters of Aristide in the face, in the streets. It's okay, because when we do this in Haiti, it makes it easier to do it in Jamaica and the Philippines and Nigeria and Mali and Algeria and Canada and Ecuador and Venezuela and El Salvador. That's the savior. And eventually England and France and Turkmenistan and Haiti, because it's imperial policy, and also Azerbaijan and Russia and Norway and Japan, and eventually Mars and Venus. And the worst part is that the American people who are kept ignorant don't understand much of this or care to know, while they laugh with friends at coffee houses, even though it has been going on for 60 years. The powerful just say, we're there to help the people here who are in poverty and slimy villages and cancer clinics with dead doctors everywhere. But what the hell, at least we're gluing the empire together. It is imperial policy, like I've been telling you. March 2004.